Well, I'm nearly done with the conversion of my 2001 Safari van to a stealth camper, and I hope you've checked out my two other videos on the conversion process. But anyway, here's the one big job that remains: the ventilation problem. So what I've got is a tilt-out window with no screen. And some people improvise screens on these kind of windows, either on the outside or the inside, but they look kind of unsightly, and it looks like they have gaps that bugs could get through. So I've decided to replace this window with an RV window that I happen to have on hand that's almost exactly the right size. So let's get started. So here I removed the top half of the inside trim and the window, and I had to drill out 4 rivets, 2 on each side. The screws that hold the pivot to the glass are locked with some locking compound, so you'll never get those screws undone. So drill out the rivets. Okay, I've cut and painted the sheet metal that I'm going to patch the hole where I removed the window, and that's what I'm going to be using to adhere it with. It's a fast grabbing exterior construction adhesive, and my window is ready for the metal patch. I sanded the paint where the patch is going to go, and I positioned a wooden form to hold my sheet as I apply it. And here it is with the patch glued in place. And as you can see, I only applied the paint around the edges since I'm going to be cutting out the center of the sheet metal. I used a heavy-duty sheet metal that I had on hand. Here's the window I'm going to be using. And here's the template I cut for making the hole in the sheet metal. So now I've removed the clamps and I've reinforced the connection with rivets, spaced evenly for a neat looking job. I use these bulb type rivets. They're shavable, and I'm going to use my rivet shaver. I use these to put Airstream trailers together and also small airplanes. So it's 10 minutes later, and here it is with the rivets shaved. And the rivets have a rubber gasket under the head that seals out water. Now we're ready to cut out the hole for the window. Here I've got the template leveled and centered, and now it's time to cut it out. Here's the hole for the window cut out and the edges painted to prevent rust. Now I'm ready to put in the window. So now I have drilled all the way around the window every 4 inches or so for these stainless steel screws that I'm going to be attaching it with. And then now I'm going to put this double adhesive 1/8 inch thick tape on the back as the instead of putty tape. I'm using this to make the window weatherproof. Here's the window installed. Yes, you can put a straight window in a curved door. Fortunately, the sheet metal bent a bit, so it fit okay. And I made a drip rail out of a section of 3/4 inch aluminum angle stock, and I sealed the top with dicor sealant. But putting in the window beat up my rattle can black paint, so I have to go over that and redo the paint. Here's the van with the second version of the paint job. Some of the fasteners I painted black, and it kind of blends in more. And I got some 1-inch wide black self-adhesive trim to try to unify what's going on a little better. And now I have to work on putting back the interior trim. Here's the interior trim put back on. I made patches, aluminum patches, for where the window latches went. And everything fits pretty nicely. I had to trim about 1/4 of an inch off the top and about 1/2 an inch off the bottom. I got my roll down curtain back in place. The window is open and a cooling breeze is coming through, and thanks to the screen, the bugs are staying outside. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found something useful in it. And I have several more videos about my van modification you might want to check out. Thank you. See you the next time.